In 1909, the East Coast is buzzing with progress in technology, fashion, and the arts. Meanwhile, the West remains wild and untamed. This contrast is highlighted when John Fain, a notorious outlaw, and his band of old-fashioned gunfighters target the land of Big Jake McCandles and his estranged wife Martha. Jake, a wealthy and skilled gunslinger, has been away from home for nearly a decade, traveling the West with his loyal dog. Martha manages their ranch, which has an East Coast-style house and servants, with the help of their 3 sons, Jeffrey, James, and Michael. Jeffrey has a son, Little Jake McCandles, named after his grandfather. Fain's gang arrives at the ranch on a day when most of the men are out, leaving the house relatively undefended, except for the servants and some young men. Martha sends her foreman Bert to handle the visitors, but he distrusts them. Fain claims they're seeking work and refuses to leave. When Bert demands their real intentions, Fain reveals a hidden gun and kills Bert. Chaos erupts as Fain and his gang attack, killing anyone they find, including a young servant boy and his sister. Jeffrey tries to intervene but is shot multiple times. Fain even rides into the house, killing a cook. Martha grabs a shotgun but hesitates when Fain threatens to kill little Jake, who is hiding in the stable. Outside, gunslinger Breed O'Brien captures little Jake but is stabbed by the boy. Fain intervenes, reminding O'Brien that their goal is to ransom little Jake. The gang leaves a ransom note on Jeffrey's body, demanding $1 million for little Jake's return. Martha reads the note, gets Jeffrey medical help, and calls for her other sons. She also contacts the Army and Rangers, but decides to call Big Jake, believing only he can handle the situation. Big Jake, having just saved a Scottish shepherd from being lynched, hires him and sends him south to sell sheep. One of the lynchers is surprised to see Jake alive, which annoys him. A messenger arrives with Martha's urgent request, so Jake takes the next train home. When Jake arrives, Martha explains the situation and shows him a strongbox filled with money, more than the ransom. She insists that they should pay exactly what the kidnappers asked for, and Jake agrees. Martha provides him with weapons, supplies, and a mule to carry the money. Outside, Jake encounters a group of rangers with new RDO cars. They offer to help, but Jake declines, preferring not to risk their lives. He sends for Sam Sharpnose and then meets his son James, who is angry about Jake's long absence. Jake throws him into a mud puddle, amusing Martha. After a brief scuffle, Jake tells James he can come along, but must be better with a gun than he is in a fight. He also warns James not to call him Daddy again. As they prepare to leave, James' brother Michael arrives on a motorcycle. Michael is happy to see Jake, but Jake is annoyed because the motorcycle startled the horses, causing him to fall into the same mud puddle as James. Michael tells the Rangers he saw the kidnappers heading for a canyon and thinks their cars can outrun them. Martha decides to send Michael and the Rangers to ambush the kidnappers, despite Jake's objections. James decides to join them, leading to a fight between Jake and Martha about their past issues. Martha insists Jake go after the boy if the ambush fails, so Jake rides off to meet Sam Sharpnose, his elderly Apache friend. Meanwhile, James and the Rangers travel in one of the cars, with Michael scouting ahead. He can't find the kidnappers, but suggests taking the pass. The Rangers debate the risk, but Buck, their leader, insists they proceed to get the boy back safely. Unfortunately, the kidnappers are already set up in an ambush. They open fire, damaging the cars and injuring or killing several Rangers. Pop Dawson suggests calling off the attack, but Fain wants to kill more to pressure the McCandles into paying. Michael distracts the kidnappers by riding his motorcycle among them. Fain orders his gang to flee, and in the chaos, little Jake escapes but is recaptured by O'Brien. Michael's motorcycle is damaged, and he falls over the canyon edge. Big Jake and Sam arrive at the canyon. Jake tells Buck he disapproved of the risky plan and that Buck nearly got little Jake killed. He provides supplies but no horses and warns Buck that if little Jake is harmed, they'll come back and kill him. James, in a bad mood, rides with his father, while Sam points out that Jake knows what he's doing. They find Michael's crashed motorcycle at the bottom of the canyon and fear he might be dead. However, Michael stands up, saying he stayed still to avoid the kidnappers. Jake makes Michael remove his goggles and then punches him twice, once for scaring him and once for nearly getting little Jake killed. Michael just smiles, saying he'll keep the goggles on next time. The brothers ride with Jake, following the kidnapper's map from the ransom note. Tensions rise between James and Jake, but Michael tries to defuse the situation. Jake discovers James is limping because someone shot him in the backside during the ambush. Jake, with help from his dog and Sam, forces James to undress so he can treat the wound. The next day, Sam tracks the kidnappers and finds they're getting close. He gives James and Michael saddles for their horses, hinting he stole them. Jake suspects they might be followed, so Sam checks and confirms there's someone trailing them a few hours behind. Jake tells Sam to rest his horse and sends James to get water for the horses, the dog, and the mule carrying the strongbox. Jake notices Michael has a new automatic handgun and asks if it's any good. Michael explains it's a pre-production Bergman that their family got because they own stock in the company. Jake asks Michael to shoot with it, but Michael, who isn't familiar with the gun, demonstrates its recoil by wildly firing all over. After rescuing the mule and reassuring Sam, James, and the dog, Jake confronts Michael. Michael admits he's skilled with a high-powered rifle and proves it by shooting a deer a quarter-mile away. James then takes the handgun and starts practicing with it, enjoying the experience. That night, James argues with Jake, still upset about past issues. Jake tells him he's exaggerating, and Michael supports him, so James goes outside to sulk. Sam warns Jake that someone is approaching the camp. Although their pursuers are hours away, Sam offers to kill the intruder, but Michael protests, as he only believes in killing when necessary. Jake reluctantly lets the intruder in, who turns out to be Fain. Fain pretends to be a messenger and gives Jake the boy's undershirt as a sign of good faith. He says the gang is waiting in the next town and asks to see the money. Jake refuses, stating Fain can have the box once they have the boy. Fain warns that there are bandits following them, not with the kidnappers, who will kill the boy if they get the box. Jake says he'll take the warning seriously, and Fain rides off. Sam later reports that 2 bandits are closer to the camp than he realized and may have overheard their plans. Despite Michael's objections, Jake orders Sam to kill them. Sam and the dog attack the spies, managing to knife one, but the other escapes after being mauled. Jake knows the bandits will set a trap ahead, so they prepare to deal with it. The next day, they arrive in town during a big fiesta thrown by oil drillers, making it harder to protect the box and spot the bandits. Instead of sneaking around, they ride through the street openly, showing off their guns and the box. Jake explains to a doubtful James that this show of strength might scare the bandits and buy them time. They check into a hotel, where Jake has to deal with more people surprised he's still alive. He threatens to shoot the next person who doubts him. Michael suggests hiding in the hotel room and waiting for the bandits, but Jake prefers to go after them first. Michael protests, but Sam tells him to let Jake handle the plan, noting that Michael's good intentions have already cost lives. Jake explains his plan, and they rest until dark. That night, the plan begins. James joins the fiesta in the saloon and dances, while Sam checks the horses. Jake grabs supplies and his shotgun, then goes for a walk. Michael stays with the dog and the box, as the bandits start closing in. Jake starts a fight in the saloon, which spills into the street and draws everyone's attention. This gives Sam time to sneak into Michael's room and barricade the door with a mattress. Jake ends the fight by apologizing and leaves the saloon, blending back into the fiesta. He enters a barber shop, sees a hot shower sign, and goes to the back to use it. One bandit spots Jake's supplies and threatens him, thinking he's unarmed. Meanwhile, 2 bandits try to provoke James into a shootout, keeping him from protecting Michael and the box. James stays calm, then uses his automatic handgun to kill the bandits. At the hotel, Sam and Michael fight off the remaining bandits with the dog's help. The bandit in the barbershop, hearing the commotion, gloats, believing Michael is dead. However, Jake had hidden his gun in the shower and disguised the pack. He shoots the bandit through the shower door, killing him. Jake returns to the hotel to find Michael furious. During the fight, one of the killers blasted open the box, revealing newspaper clippings instead of money. Michael and James are angry, thinking Jake stole the money and that their efforts were in vain. After letting them vent their anger by hitting him, Jake fights them, knocks them out, and wakes them with water to explain. Jake tells them Martha put the clippings in the box because she wanted the kidnappers to get exactly what they asked for: death. She wants Jake to kill the kidnappers rather than pay them. The boys are initially skeptical, but Jake reminds them that their brother Jeffrey is dying because of the kidnappers. Realizing this is something their mother would do, Michael is still shocked but worried about pulling off the plan. That night, Pop Dawson arrives at the hotel room. Michael hides on the roof when he hears him coming. Dawson tells Jake that they have little Jake nearby and that they must follow him. If Jake doesn't return in 18 minutes, Fain will kill little Jake. Dawson warns that they must stay put for an hour after the exchange or the boy will die. He explains they have a sharpshooter, Duffy, set up to kill little Jake if anything goes wrong. Jake asks for 5 minutes to get ready, and Dawson agrees, waiting outside. Michael returns and Jake orders him to sneak in and kill the sniper. They go downstairs, leaving Michael behind. Dawson suspects a trick, but Jake lies, saying Michael was killed in the fight, and invites Dawson to check the jailhouse if he wants. Dawson, who is a wanted man, believes this and leads Jake through the streets as thunderclouds gather. Michael waits until they are far off and sneaks up behind them in the shadows. Dawson leads them to old stables by a church, where 2 dead night watchmen show the kidnappers have claimed the place. Dawson tells James and Sam to stay put while Jake takes the box inside alone. Dawson hides in the shadows, and James spots O'Brien watching them, warning Jake to be cautious. Jake hints to Sam about a future hunting trip, showing he plans to go through with the plan. Michael sneaks in and climbs a silo to set up a sniper's nest. Inside, Jake meets Fain, who is clearly the gang leader. 2 kidnappers try to ambush him, but the mule kicks one and the dog attacks the other. Jake spots Fain's brother, Will, aiming a shotgun at him. Jake makes a joke about being dangerous, and Fain, amused, lets Will come down. Jake refuses to give up the money until he sees the boy. Will and another thug, Goodfellow, bring out little Jake, who is bound and hooded. In the church bell tower, Michael searches for the other sniper, but still can't see him. Jake demands the hood be removed so he can confirm it's his grandson and see he's unharmed. Seeing little Jake, Jake smiles, which makes Fain suspicious. Fain warns Jake that if anything goes wrong, Will will shoot little Jake, and even if Will is injured, the sniper, Duffy, will kill the boy. Jake throws the key to Fain, telling him to open the strongbox. Fain kneels to open it, putting him in a vulnerable position. When he sees the clippings instead of money, he looks up in rage and finds Jake aiming a shotgun at him. Jake warns Fain that if anything goes wrong, Fain will be the one to face the consequences. Just as it seems Jake might win, a gunslinger named Trooper leaps at him from behind. Fain escapes and orders the boy to be killed. Jake shoots Will before he can fire, and the dog pulls little Jake off the horse. The rifle shot misses and hits Jake in the leg. Fain shoots the dog, and a gunfight breaks out. Jake and little Jake find cover behind hay bales. Michael spots the sniper Duffy by his powder flare, shoots the bells to make him visible, and then kills him. Fain, enraged by his brother's death, sends Goodfellow to get Will's shotgun and continues attacking Jake. Sam shoots Trooper from a wall, but is then knocked off and killed by Goodfellow. Michael climbs down from the silo, but drops his rifle and goes to retrieve it. Behind the haystack, little Jake helps Jake tie his leg wound. Jake gives him a small gun and tells him to run outside and find James. Jake creates a distraction by firing, allowing little Jake to escape. Goodfellow, Dawson, and O'Brien chase him. James kills Dawson, but little Jake misses Goodfellow and O'Brien wounds James. Little Jake hides in the stables, where Goodfellow is later mauled by the dog, which Goodfellow kills before searching for the boy. Meanwhile, O'Brien challenges James to a duel. Despite having only one working arm, James skillfully uses his automatic gun to kill O'Brien. With only Fain and Goodfellow left, and little Jake and Michael missing, Jake throws a lantern at Fain, setting his poncho on fire. As Fain deals with the fire, Jake checks on little Jake, who is hiding in a haystack. Goodfellow attacks Jake with a machete, but Jake impales him with a pitchfork. Just as Fain is about to kill both Jake and little Jake, Michael shoots Fain off his horse. As Fain dies, he asks who defeated him. Jake reveals his identity, and Fain dies, remarking that he thought Jake was dead, which annoys Jake. Little Jake is thrilled to learn that his rescuer is his grandfather, Jacob McCandles. Michael apologizes for being slow and allowing Jake to get hurt, but Jake assures him he saved his life twice and has nothing to regret. Little Jake confirms Jake is his grandfather, and James, now more respectful and nursing his arm, suggests they all head home. Jake agrees, saying it's a good idea. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.